On the news, acting IGP orders all police convoys to obey traffic regulations, withdraws mobile police officers from VIPs. Defense Ministry service chiefs reaffirm commitment to national peace and stability. And European Union's election observation mission submits report, reveals systemic and operational failures during the 2023 general elections. Thank you for joining us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Adigun. About 7 days after resumption of office, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered all police convoys to obey all traffic regulations with immediate effect. The acting IGP issued this directive at the meeting with the Mobile Police Squadron and commanders at the force headquarters in Abuja. Egbetokun, who said it was important that his men lead by example and are held accountable before the law, also announced that the personnel of the Mobile Police Force will no longer carry out VIPs escort and guard duties.
We shall effect the withdrawal of PMF personnel from VIP escort / guard duties. While the protection of dignitaries remains paramount, it is imperative that we align our priorities to address the escalating security challenges faced by the nation as a whole. By relieving the PMF of VIP escort and guard duties, we can redirect their focus and efforts towards addressing critical security concerns that affect our communities at large. In line with my vision of building a rule of law compliant police force, it is my directive that henceforth all police convoys on routine, non-emergency movement must obey traffic lights and other traffic rules.
The acting IGP also announced the creation of a new Special Intervention Squad comprising 40,000 specially trained elite officers.
In light of the current challenges, a series of operational strategies have been developed, which is aimed at strengthening our capabilities to effectively deliver on our constitutional mandates. First and foremost, modalities for the creation of a new special squad, the Special Intervention Squad, has been initiated. This special squad shall consist of 40,000 specially trained elite officers. The squad will be formed by selecting officers from the pool of the existing Police Mobile Force, PMF, personnel, and all tactical units in the country. 1,000 personnel from this new squad will be deployed to every state of the Federation for immediate operations as standby intervention units.
The European Union Election Observation Mission has released its final report on the 2023 general election. The chief observer for the mission, Barry Andrews, while speaking at a press conference in Abuja, revealed that the election exposed enduring systemic weaknesses at the period when Nigerians demonstrated a clear commitment to the democratic process. Andrews remarked that shortcomings in law and electoral administration hindered the conduct of well-run and inclusive elections, which damaged trust in the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Speaking to journalists on the sidelines, the chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee of INEC, Festus Okoye, conceded that there were glitches during the elections, while also adding that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is in a position to determine the conduct of the general election.
In the lead-up to the 2023 general elections, Nigerian citizens demonstrated a clear commitment to the democratic process. That said, the election exposed enduring systemic weaknesses and therefore signal a need for further legal and operational reforms to enhance transparency, inclusiveness, and accountability. Positively, Nigeria has signed up to key regional and international commitments for democratic elections. While we consider the electoral legal framework provides an adequate foundation for the conduct of democratic elections, there are ambiguities in the law. For example, the Electoral Act 2022, which had its first test in a general election in 2023, and other legal instruments evidenced gaps in terms of transparency, accountability, and inclusivity, and left room for uncertain implementation.
The law itself has also given the political parties the opportunity to know what goes on at each polling unit. Almost all the political parties, or at least 5 of the political parties, nominated and got accredited over 170,000 polling agents. So what that means is that they had primary evidence of the results from the polling units. And it is those results from the polling units, together with the beavers as a machine itself, that goes to the collation center. So it is not true, and it cannot be correct, for a political party to rely only on result upload in order to get the evidence with which he wants to prosecute his case in court. But as I say, we have cases in court, petitions are already in court. Let the court make a determination of whether the commission did well or the commission did not do well.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, has described a seamless cooperation between the military and the civilian community as supremely paramount to the restoration of peace and stability in the country. The Permanent Secretary, Ibrahim Kana, made the statement when the service chiefs and Chief of Defense Intelligence paid a visit to the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Abuja. Kana pledged the commitment of the ministry as well as the Nigerian Armed Forces in supporting other security agencies in maintaining internal security and counter-terrorism operations in the country. Speaking on behalf of the service chiefs, the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, while calling for an improved civil-military relation, reiterated his vow to end insecurity ravaging most parts of the country.
There shall be coordination between the armed forces, the MOD, the other security agencies, i.e. the police, the state security, the Department of State Security Services, the NIA, the civil defense, and all other security agencies to ensure that we bring peace and maintain peace that we dearly need in this our country. Nigeria is our country, we have no other. Therefore, if we don't put hands together to support the armed forces, there is no way we can have peace. Sometimes people talk about kinetic and non-kinetic. The armed forces are ever ready 24/7 for the kinetic. But if the non-kinetic is not working, there is no way the armed forces can achieve the best results. Therefore, we call on the communities in Nigeria, whatever information that anyone has, and the popular saying, when you see something, say something. The armed forces is ready through the Ministry of Defense to support everyone in this country, both internal security and our territorial security.
Our cooperation with the civilians is paramount. That's the only way to show that we are succeeding. Because why we have the military is for us to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria, both within and outside. We have seen the challenges we're facing are the ones from within so far. And we're putting everything in place to ensure that we achieve that. And we want to use this medium to appeal to Nigerians to support the military. The Nigerian military is for you. The armed forces of Nigeria is here because we have a nation. And we will do whatever it takes to ensure that we sustain, maintain, and ensure the Nigeria thrives. Not only thrives, that it grows and develops properly. That we are sure we'll do. We are all committed to what we have been tasked to do, and we're going to be professional. We're going to respect human rights. The rights of every individual is guaranteed. And we show you that we are going to be very professional in our approach in everything we do.
A federal high court Abuja has awarded a 1 million naira fine against the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) for the unlawful detention of the former Registrar, Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB), Professor Dibu Ojerinde, Justice Obiora Egwatu, in a judgment, also awarded a 200,000 naira fine against the ICPC as Ojerinde's cost of instituting the case. Justice Egwatu held that although the rearrest of the ex-JAM boss on January 26 was legal and lawful based on the search warrant obtained from the Chief Judge of the court, the Anti-Graft Commission ought to have obtained a detention warrant since Ojerinde was not to be immediately arraigned. Consequently, the judge, who declared that Ojerinde is presumed innocent until the court decides, ordered his immediate release or arraignment. The ICPC had accused the former JAM boss of diverting public funds to the tune of 5 billion naira and dragged him before Justice Egwatu on an 18-count money laundering suit. Nigeria's oil and gas industry has been faced with various challenges, ranging from low discovery and drilling activities to a decline in gas for power supply, decline in revenue earnings, among other gamut of challenges. To this end, the Human and Environmental Development Agenda Header Resource Center has held a public presentation highlighting the many challenges in the oil and gas industry while spotlighting the 2020-2021 marginal fields bid licensing rounds. Our correspondent Mary Kanu now reports.
The marginal field oil subsector has become the cornerstone of Nigeria's upstream petroleum local content development strategy. The focus on marginal fields oil development by the government aims to promote and protect indigenous capital to counterbalance multinational dominance of Nigeria's economy. For this reason, the bid round exercise was conceived to promote indigenous participation in oil and gas business and to revive long-abandoned oil production fields for the delivery of 3 million oil barrels per day.
Unfortunately, what we have heard several times is that NNPC fails to remit so amount to the Federation account. It is not in any way heard of that you don't have that money going, and the states are keeping quiet. Meanwhile, it is the money that would have gone to states and local government that NNPC is either misappropriating and diverting.
But issues like this and many more trail Nigeria's oil and gas industry. While Nigeria has had only 2 successful marginal fields bid licensing round in 2003 and 2004 and 2020 and 2021 since its history, both exercises were marred with various allegations, including harsh talks about official and unofficial payment by bidders. Rising from these allegations, the Human and Environmental Development Agenda Header Resource Center has organized the review of the 2020 and 2021 marginal bid licensing round. Speaking at the public presentation, the chairman of Header Resource Center, Olariwaju Suraju, said reviews such as this will hold the concerned organizations accountable.
We've really benefited from some of our resources. And I alluded to the experience of what we had with the OPL 245, the Malibu case, where the oil block that was actually allocated to few people because they were ministers and also children of the former late president, head of state, Sonny Abacha, allocated an oil block that was actually worth the value of about $6.8 billion to a company that was incorporated a few days before it was allocated the license and doesn't even have any experience of oil exploitation or exploration. And from that, Nigeria only got about $250 million. I mean, $1.1 billion was actually also diverted to people who are public office holders.
Suraju also called on the Tinubu-led government to rise to the occasion and put a stop to the corruption eroding the country's mainstay.
If there's about 70% of the corruption in Nigeria is traced to the oil sector. And that is the area where you have also international players being part of the process. It means that these international players are also meant to be held to account for some of the things that are happening here. And for us to see this happening, we want to see how some of the things can be done differently. And if we have a new government, we want to see the agenda of this government going into the oil sector, where you're seeing the mainstay of the economy of the country, and also you're having where you have the highest concentration of corruption.
Header Resource Center also unveiled its publication, which gives a comprehensive review of the 2020 and 2021 marginal fields licensing rounds with insights, analysis, and recommendations. Mary Kanu, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, World Bank approves fresh $500 million loan for Nigeria. We'll bring you details of the story and more when we return. Welcome back. Let's get a recap of our top stories. About 7 days after resumption of office, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered all police convoys to henceforth obey all traffic regulations with immediate effect. The acting IGP, who issued this directive at the meeting with the mobile police squadron and commanders at the force headquarters in Abuja, also announced that personnel of the police mobile force will no longer carry out VIP's escort and guard duties. Egbetokun also announced the creation of a new special intervention squad comprising 40,000 specially trained elite officers. We also told you that the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, has described a seamless cooperation between the military and the civilian community as supremely paramount to the restoration of peace and stability in the country. The Permanent Secretary, Ibrahim Kana, made the statement when the service chiefs and Chief of Defense Intelligence paid a visit to the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Abuja, where he pledged the commitment of the ministry as well as the Nigerian Armed Forces in supporting other security agencies in maintaining internal security and counter-terrorism operations in the country. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Former Chelsea and Liverpool forward Fernando Torres is reportedly taking the Spanish government to court due to damages incurred over the COVID-19 pandemic. Since hanging up his boots, Torres made several investments as he owns a chain of gyms branded New Fitness, which had reached £86,000 in profit prior to the pandemic, before safety measures were introduced in Spain by the government and Madrid Council. The profits made from the gyms then fell to £172,000 loss the following year, as Torres alleged the Spanish restrictions were disproportionate and intense. The matter has now escalated and reached the Supreme Court, with the former Premier League forward demanding his company be reimbursed for their losses. We'll take another break here and return with business news. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Let's now join Folashade Ogunride for business news. Over to you, Folashade.
Well, many thanks to Ms. Sola. In business, the World Bank has approved a fresh $500 million loan for Nigeria to help improve the livelihood of women in the country. The loan, according to the World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Shubham Chaudhary, is to scale up financing for Nigerian Women program. He explained that by building assets, women can better respond to family needs and mitigate risks and the effect of climate and other shocks on livelihoods, adding that gender disparities in earnings hold back the Nigerian economy. As Nigerians felicitate with Muslim faithful as they celebrate Eid al-Kabir festival this week, the federal government, through the Ministry of Works, has suspended works on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to ease traffic for motorists and commuters plying that route. These motorists and commuters say is a well-thought-out move by the federal government to ease the plight of road users. A member of the Park Management Service, Owolabi Jimo, as well as some road users who spoke to TV360 Nigeria, charged the government to expedite action on the final reconstruction of the road, which causes delay as a result of traffic gridlocks.
The government is probably looking at the fact that there will be a lot of activities going on, and it will be very, very painful for you to want to attend a function, wear backed up, starch cloth, and you're in a go slow, sweating all over, that kind of thing. This is a period that should be less of stress. I think that's why it makes sense. I think just for 2 days, it's not too much. They'll get back to road, but the company should look at possibility of doing a lot of job too at night, so that the stress we're going through flying this route will be minimized.
My children, they go to school. I'm Lagos State. My children go wake around 3:30 a.m. early in the morning. Before 4:30, don't leave come off for our compound. Before you go reach Bega, you go use almost 3 hours journey driving with the stress every day by day. Yesterday, now it was yesterday before yesterday, it was no be smart or something. Because as I dey come, I don't carry my car go home. I will come and enter motor from Magburu to Bega is 500 naira. I reach Opik, no road. I drop all this person in my children. I carry my children, that's 7 years old. I don't believe I'm making the worker inside the motor. I carry them for before I reach 1 hour journey. Traffic for leg. The traffic still person they take there the worker for road.
It's a very, very good development. Even before government even announced that they should. We masses that use this Baga road, I don't believe that there is anybody in Nigeria that we don't know the kind of suffer where people they suffer for this road. Shena to collect our phone ni, abi make them come dagger us for inside motor, or for you to use like 4-5 hours for road that you will use about 15-20 minutes. That stress is too much for anybody. Nobody will be in this country. I beg, I'm very sorry. I will speak my this union broken because I don't too much go school. But the stubbornness of this road, this beggar road, is too much. You see the life that is going, all the damages in our body. You will wake up in your house maybe around 2 o'clock. You will never reach where you go till another 5 hours.
We'll take a breather here and return with a review of the stock market. Stay with us. The bulls had the upper hand at the end of Tuesday's trading as market capitalization settled at 32.7 trillion naira. Now, in the aggregate, 125 NGX-listed equities participated in trading, ending with 51 gainers and 13 losers. Ikeja Hotel led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 3 naira 63 kobo per share, followed by Cotsville Business Solutions. Now, on the losing side, Red Star Express came out last with an end-of-day price appreciation of 10% at 3 naira 15 kobo per share, followed by CNI Leasing. Now, at the end of today's trading session, a total of 763 million volumes of shares valued at over 12 billion naira exchange hands in 9,463 deals. A switch now to some of our select global stocks that the Asian stocks Nikkei, Dow Jones and FTSE. The FTSE and Dow Jones managed to keep their heads above waters, ending in the greens at 0.16% and 0.42% respectively. Unfortunately, Nikkei could not also achieve that feat. It ended in the reds at 0.49%. That's it on business news and stock market review. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Falashade, for the update. And in Gabon, it is set to hold presidential, legislative and local elections in August 26, the country's government has announced. The Council of Ministers announced the convening of Electoral College for the election of the President of the Republic, plus members of the National Assembly and municipal councils in August. While President Ali Bongo Ondimba is yet to declare his re-election bid, he is widely expected to run for re-election against a much divided opposition. Bongo's powerful Gabonese Democratic Party holds strong majorities in both houses of parliament and is pushing for the president to announce he will run again. Finally, in sports, Bayern Munich has seen their €70 million bid for Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane rejected. The Bundesliga champions bid for the England captain was €70 million plus add-ons, but has been knocked back by the Premier League club. Bayern, under the stewardship of former Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel, are in the market for a new forward this summer, with Kane high on their list of priorities. Kane has been a Manchester United target since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was manager, and current boss Erik ten Hag is also a known admirer. That's it on News Now this evening. Many thanks for watching. I'm Simisola Ajigun.